What is going on? We're back. It's a rainy day here in California, so that means it's finally time to get back in the shop, which is year round along with the driving. However, I've been MIA for a long time. I realize that. So we're gonna sit down, we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna give you an update. But first, we're gonna go over here, we're gonna get some Starbucks, and I'll fill you in. We got our Starbucks. So let's start with the first part. What happened in the past couple months since my last video? Because it's the unfortunate part of building cars, especially when you're kind of just somebody just trying to do it yourself and build some cool stuff. At least what I think is cool stuff. Delays happen. And the first one was my roll cage is taking a very, very long time to upgrade. Granted, I want to design it myself. I work with some friends and it all gets done. However, it does mean it's kind of on a last priority type thing to get done, unless you want to pay tons and tons of money for some big shop to do it for you. I also don't have the skills myself to do it, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it's something I'm going to work on in 26 to be better at. That being said, are things moving along? Of course. Did I end up taking my car farther apart because I was sitting there and bored? I did, and you'll see in just a minute what happened. However, I also sat down and wanted to spend time on really developing my company, Deft City, to be an actual company and not just something I use to start developing a couple things and sell things here and there. I wanted to actually branch out and do my own engineering firm. So I sat down and spent a lot of time doing CAD stuff, both for starting of a new sequential shifter, at least sequential shifter-like shift kit for the F8X platform with the DCT. I think it's pretty cool. It's a carbon fiber tube and then a custom-made knob, which just makes it more fun. Granted, they all have paddles. There's nothing like pulling a sequential shifter. It's just the most badass feeling there is. So I did that. I also sat down and developed, I wanted to learn carbon fiber a little bit. So I built some forged carbon coasters just because I was bored. But it was nice because it's something new to do. And that's all because things were just taking time. And my regular job is it's a lot of work. And it's not always easy to come into the garage after spending the day of regular work. Then I train my dog quite a bit and try and get her ready to go. And it is what it is. Now that we're back in the garage, I want to show you those cup holders I was working on and mentioned just earlier when I was doing a little walk. It's kind of cool. Let me give you a little flash drive. You can see it's just forged carbon. It makes it look neat. It has a little bit of depth. I threw the company logo on the front just to make it look rad. And then what they actually look like, the final ones are going to look like this. They stack together. They'll be made out of forged carbon. The mold is in the shop right now. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited because it's just a nice thing at work. You drop it down, it makes it look cool. You drop it at home. A carbon one's always cool. Is there a need for lightweight cup holders or coasters? Absolutely not. But hey, it's fun and it's something I've been working on. And then the second thing that I told you that I was working on was getting rid of this ridiculous bulbous DCT shifter, which, it does the job. And, it's kind of fun to pull it back and push it forward, do the shifting. Even though we all have paddles on these cars, I think, to bring a little bit of fun back into driving, what I wanted to do was kind of work on this, make it a little better. So, while the paddles are neat, and if I'm in a racing application, yeah, the paddles are faster, they're better. You keep your hands on the steering wheel and all the goods. However, I wanted to make something neat. So this now is a lot taller. It's right next to the steering wheel. So when you're pulling, you're just pulling a nice, crisp, big old sequential pull. So at least you look cool on the street. So if you're trying to leave a light and look, really cool for the person next to you, let's face it, no one actually cares, but you do as the driver. You can just rip some gears and you can feel really cool as you do. It feels like a sequential, and the DCT, tends to act like one depending on how you have it tuned. I have the GT4 transmission tuned in my car right now, and it's pretty nice and it does shift nice and crisp. So, as much as it is an automatic, we can at least make it look cool. One thing to note is it is carbon fiber. Yeah, it will match the inside of the car. This is matte for prototyping, and I had my buddy Brian from This Side Up Motorsports print out the top for me. And just so we can get a feel what size it's going to be, so as you pull, it's not too ridiculous, and it also doesn't look lame because, there is some aesthetics to it. So let's get into it and take a look at the inside of the car and see how much of a mess I did make. Right, so as you can tell, there's no more carpet in this car. And the problem was I did that a couple months ago, and I don't remember how the interior goes back together very well. Though I think it is going to be pretty simple. I did unplug about everything known to man, and making sure I get it back in and can route it inside of all the stuff is going to be a real big old pain. Let's hope I can do it. I'm not going to time lapse the whole thing, but we're going to try and get back together and see what happens, because I need to smog this car for its registration, which is coming up in a couple months. So really I can't go to the smog guy and have check engines, because the airbags aren't like plugged in. The airbag modules rather aren't plugged in. There's no shifter. You know, maybe we can get it put back together. We'll see. All right. After frustration, got everything back in the car. The difference is we have the stock shifter in now, which we were talking about that we're going to do the upgrade on. So let's swap it out. I'll show you what the new one looks like and why we're going to swap it. I think it's pretty cool, but you know, you be the judge. They will be up for sale very soon. Just working on finishing the last bit of design, and it'll go into production probably beginning of 2026. We'll have something out there for everybody to use. I'll test it first just to make sure it works and doesn't snap for anybody, because that's very important. But the car is back together. It's been months, so it's pretty cool to see it in one piece again. So let's have a quick peek. My most favorite thing about this car is just the cornering ability. Now that we have the KWs, we got the sway bars, our custom Deft City in links. The seat really brings a different connection. It's a fun car. It's just a good car. Happy with it. It's back together. I don't know what to do now. I'm just gonna, you know, rip around a couple corners here and see how it goes. But thank you very much for watching. The car is doing really good. Sorry for the brakes. The car is doing great. I wouldn't change a thing. So we'll see you on the next one. Be sure to hit me up anytime. Comments, like, subscribe, whatever you want. I have some merch now. Believe it or not, we got stickers and stuff because the main goal of all of this is the pursuit of progression. So you see stickers probably pop up on the TSU website. I'll put a link in the description, and I'll see you on the next one.